Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video, and today I am ranking the leaders that are available for Season 12 of Godzilla Battle Line. This is the season, Mecha Ghidorah season of the Resurrection of the Cyborg Dragon, I think it's called, and the date of this recording is May 9th, 2022. So these are all the available leaders at the moment. We have no idea what leaders are coming this summer or in the winter or whatever, so for the time being, this is going to be the most up-to-date leader tier list I have on the channel, so welcome. Now, just a formality for new players, if you just started the game and you wanted to Google a tier list or something and this video came up, hi, welcome, hello, hope you stick around. Something to keep in mind for you new players is that the 5 stars are going to be extremely powerful really early into your career in this game. As a leader, they're going to have around like 5,000 something health when you get them at level 1. This is going to be extremely useful for you, and the top choice for most players is once you do the starting dash missions, you're going to get a free piece of Kiryu. Make him your leader. His ability is really solid. We're going to talk about that later. And he's going to have a lot of health, and it's going to let you use a lot of other pieces on the field. Eventually, late game though, the 3-star leaders are going to have a lot more health than the 4-star leaders, and we'll go over that. So something to keep in mind is maybe upgrade the 3 stars as you're playing and use the 4 stars early on in your career. That being said, let's talk about Battra, and I got an itch. Okay, Battra, right here. Let's pull him up. Prism Beam, 1 energy cost, 90-second cooldown, deals 40 damage in a straight line and increases the movement speed of allied aerial units on the battlefield by 50% for 15 seconds. Now, as you're going to see in this video, there are a lot of better movement speed buff abilities in this game. There are several leaders that have an ability to, buff movement speed, and they're all way better than this. And it's not just that this ability isn't great. Battra is probably the one of, if not the best unit in the game at the moment, because on spawn, he's going to give a 30% attack boost to any allied units caught in his little field that he drops when he spawns in. Huge. Amazing ability. Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you take the best unit in the game and make him a leader? And his leader ability is terrible. It is not good. It is not useful. There are other better movement speed buffs in this game. Very short. Not going to go in depth about Battra. And if you're coming at me in the comments like, oh, you could use him in a flying deck to boost the speed of your flyers. If you have a flying deck, why wouldn't you put him in there? Wouldn't you want him to buff like Mecha Ghidorah or MechaGodzilla or Mothra? Like, you want him in that deck. You want him in every deck as it stands right now in the game. He's been meta for a while, and he's maintained meta status even post-nerf. His damage buff used to be 50%. Now it's 30%, and it's still insane. Why would you do this to yourself? That's where he's going. End of story. Biollante's next. Biollante had her heyday. She was a meta leader for a long time. Biollante I'm putting in the great tier. Now, her energy cost 1 for acid slap, and her cooldown is 60 seconds. Deals 200 damage in a straight line and increases the movement speed and bodies of water of allied ground units on the battlefield by 300%, and increases damage dealt of allied long-range attacking units on the battlefield by 20% for 30 seconds. Now, pretty great ability. Every minute of the game, you can have this ability up. Every minute of the game, you can give your units a 20% buff. Now, it's only for 30 seconds. Still very powerful. She was meta a few months ago because her ability used to have a 45-second usage time, and it would only have a 15-second, cooldown between when the ability is over and when you could use it again. That was changed to 30 seconds, so for half a minute, all your characters that are long range get a 20% boost. And 30 seconds later, you can just use it again. You can use it every minute of the game. Now, there are plenty of units that are long range that are extremely viable all the time. Super X, Ultima, Mecha Ghidorah, Battra, Manila, Singular Point Jet Jaguar. I believe Space Godzilla counts. They're like all of the main best and greatest units are almost always long range, with the exception of like a handful, like a small handful. And she'll buff them. She'll buff them all. There's no energy restriction on, how much they have to cost to use this ability to work on it. It works for everyone from Manila to Ultima to Earth. If they're long range, this works on them. And if they're in water, a 300% boost is crazy. Biollante leaders see a lot of play still to this day on the London map, because you can send all of your units just straight up the stream of water, straight down the middle of the map. On New York, you can send them up on the sides for a quick boost up. When the Skull Island map was in this game, that map was literally just a pillar of land, and the 2 rows on the ends, on either ends, those was just water, and you could send them straight up that as well. So very powerful ability. On Tokyo, she doesn't really see a lot of play, right? There's not a lot of water, but you still get the buff for the ranged units. Very solid ability. Incredible, attack. She spins in a full 360 and gets the hits, but she is a little on the slower side with 2.8 seconds, so not doing insane DPS. She can hit everyone, but the fact that she's a slow attacker is not amazing. So she's a great leader. She's not meta anymore. She is great though. I really like her, and I was a big fan of her leader ability back then, and now that she got a nerf on the field and she's not doing as well as she was before, maybe she could see a resurgence as a leader. If you make a good range deck, she's gonna be pretty good in it. Oh, also you see your health is 6,952. My Biollante is at level 12. So let's take a look at our next character, which is Gigan. And Gigan's stats as a leader, my Gigan is level 21, and he has 8,622. So you see what I'm saying, that the 3 stars are having, better stats faster. My Biollante is 12 and has 2,000 less attack, or less health than this Gigan does. If you're looking for health, for longevity, for durability with your units, 3-star leaders. Gigan's ability, Blade Ripper, 2 cost, 120-second cooldown. Deals 300 damage in a straight line, that's like with his saw-bladed spins. And raise the movement speed of allied ground units on the battlefield to Gigan's movement speed for 10 seconds. This is a tried and true tactic, man. This has stuck with the game through thick and thin, season 1 to now. The Gigan Rush? Gigan Rush is a solid strategy. You throw down a GD9, an Anguirus or something, you let them waddle halfway across the map, you pop this ability, they're going to run over to the enemy leader. Crazy ability. This is definitely the best speed boost in the game. Gigan's going into the great tier. Gigan, is going to have the health you need because you can level him up super easily, being a gold unit, and this ability is a tried and true tactic. You see this everywhere still in the game. Even if someone's not running G89, a lot of people recently have been doing this with Godzilla Earth to make him waddle across the map at hyperspeed. Pretty funny, not going to lie, but not meta. But this is definitely the tactic that has stuck around, probably one of the longest in the game, for sure. It is very, very solid ability. Next. This is the GOAT. The greatest leader of all time. Godzilla 1989. Look at this. Energy cost 2, 90-second cooldown, deals 350 damage in fan shape, and increases damage dealt by allied units with an energy cost of 5 or more on the battlefield by 50% for 15 seconds. This ability for a 50% damage boost for 15 seconds, if you get a good push going on the enemy leader, you pop this ability, you're going to run through their health, right? I use in my deck Ultima and Super X and Battra. These 3 units will benefit from this ability, and they'll just melt the enemy leader if it touches them, right? Or in a firefight, you have a lot of units going back and forth and back and forth. This is the difference between surviving that fight or not. A 50% damage boost is an insane boost, right? This is the best leader ability. Not to mention at level 30, which my Godzilla 89 is, he has, not the leader stats, he has 10,310 health. That is a lot, and his attack speed is better than Biollante's, at least with 2.5 seconds. And his leader can do AoE. You wouldn't think that he has an AoE, a leader attack, but he does. When he punches a unit that's close to him, if they're close enough to another unit, both of them are going to get hit. Really solid. A lot of health, amazing ability. G89 consistently remains one of the best leaders in the game. I mean, he is the best leader in the game, but consistently throughout the whole career of Battleline, even when Biollante was the meta, G89s are still everywhere. It's just a very durable unit, very easy to level up. You get him, like, as soon as you start the game, he's the first unit you get. Through and through, amazing unit. Now, with the 3 stars, early in the game, they're not going to have the stats, right? But once you get, like, G89 or Gigan or MechaGodzilla to 20, 21, 30, those levels, swap them in as your leader, because that's when they're really going to shine. So GD9, best unit in the game, or best ability in the game, hands down. Very, very powerful. Definitely meta for sure. Next, Jet Jaguar. I've had a little bit of a come around on Jet Jaguar, and TS Dragon has some videos with Jet Jaguar leader, and his tier list video, he talks about Jet Jaguar a lot as well. This is his ability. All-encompassing strike. 2 energy costs 120 seconds. Deals 300 damage in a circle and increases the movement speed of allied long-range attacking units on the battlefield by 50% for 15 seconds. Another speed boost ability. So Battra, Biollante, Gigan, Jaguar all have speed boost abilities. This one is not so bad. The Battra one is just for flyers, and they're all already pretty fast, so I'm not going to talk about that much longer. But this is all long-range attackers, so this is going to work for Ultima. This is going to work for, you know, Earth. This is going to work for pretty much anyone that's long-range. There's no, you know, there's no restrictions on if they have to be on the ground, if they have to be in the air, what their energy cost is. It's just a good thing to rush up your sniper units. It depends now on what deck you use, because there's a lot of units that aren't snipers that are considered long range, like Space Godzilla, Battra, King Ghidorah, Mecha King Ghidorah are not snipers, but they are considered long range units. Hedorah as well. But then there are units like Super X and Ultima and Manila that if you use this ability, you're rushing them forward. You want those three to be like as far back as possible, right? But so with this ability, you have to watch out. This could be really good for a push, especially if all the units in your deck are long range, but you gotta be careful because you don't want to send your snipers that are vulnerable up too far where they can get hit. So play your pushes right. I think you can get the job done with this. I'm putting him in the okay tier. I think he's difficult to use, but I think he is pretty good. I just don't think he's as good as, you know, everyone's gonna be in the great tier. Same kind of goes for Kong. I like Kong Leader, or Conk Leader. Like him a lot. His ability's pretty good. 1 cost, cooldown 90 seconds, deals 300 damage in a fan sickler. It's supposed to say in like a circle. This spelling mistake has been in here the entire time he's been in the game. And increased damage dealt by allied units with an energy cost of 6+. That's wrong. That's actually 4+ in the game. That's another spelling error. And on the battlefield by 20% for 15 seconds. He does what Biollante does for less time and for a specified energy cost of units. So like Anguirus will get this buff. Super X can get this buff. Yeah, increased damage by all allied units with energy cost. Yeah. Anguirus, Super X, anyone. This is not like a range thing. Anyone can get this buff for 15 seconds. Pretty good. Not amazing. It's like a lesser version of Biollante, in my opinion. It's kind of more in line with Fire Rodans as well, but you can't even unlock Kong anymore. This ability's just okay. If you want to use it, go for it. I've been using it with some decks, finding success. Just being able to power up a lot of units is really nice, but I wouldn't consider him just really normally. You want to use him unless you're trying to go for his titles and stuff like that, like most people are. So he's just okay, and you can't even unlock him anymore. So if you don't even have him, if you're a new player, don't even worry about it. Next is MechaGodzilla. MechaGodzilla is a fun ability. I've actually been having a lot of fun using MechaGodzilla's ability in fixed battles with like an all spam deck. But let's talk about it because it's interesting. Energy cost is 3. So it's a little much for this. 60-second cooldown, deals 150 damage and knockback in a straight line, and reduces the time it takes for facilities on the battlefield to generate allied units by 50% for 15 seconds. Now, I'll put his little video up. He can, if you see in this video, he pushes units away with this big push, which actually is pretty useful. And then the helicopter bases and the M-bot bases will produce units faster. This is such a specific ability, man, but I dig it. I dig it a lot. I love when characters have, very specific niches and roles they can fill. And MechaGodzilla being in charge of the facility-themed decks is really sick. I really do like that. The facilities suck. Like, the M-bot and the air base have received buffs recently, and the M-bot base is better than it was. And it's like a C-tier unit, right? But the helicopters are still not hitting the way they should. It's really easy to overpower these bases unless you have level 30s of the air base and the M-boss, and then level 30 MechaGodzilla. I really don't see this coming into ranked at all. It's just an okay ability for the most part. Not a lot of people are running it. I definitely think it's better than Kong. I think Jaguar in the OK category is more practical. I think in Fix, this is good if you play your cards right, and I think it's going to take a lot of resources in ranked for you to even have this be semi-viable, and at that point, there's all kinds of other characters you would rather be wanting to use in ranked. Next, Mothra. I like Mothra. Season 2 Mothra leader, broken. This ability literally was broken and doing infinite amount of healing, and you would just set down a G89 and then throw down the Mothra leader ability and then just win the match. It was wild. So, Life Force scales, 2 energy cost, 120-second cooldown. Restores 4% of the maximum HP of each allied ground unit on the battlefield every second for 15 seconds. So this doesn't affect air units, just ground. But that's still fine. You want to use this with characters that have a lot of health. Anguirus, GD9, Earth. You know, they got a lot of health. You have a high level 4-star. You could use Mothra as your leader and heal them up. But your force is going to be level 20 or something, right? But overall, it's a really good ability. Any kind of healing is good. Getting back 4% health every second is very solid. 15 seconds. It's a lot of health. And the fact that this is percent healing, it's good because you can stack heals. In this game, we have 2 different kinds of healing. We have percent healing, like this Mothra ability, and static healing, which is like Psychic Chorus, which gives you a flat number per level. So Mothra's percentage is dependent on the level of your unit. So a high level GD9 is going to benefit from this a lot more than a low level GD9. But a Psychic Chorus would affect both the same way. With this ability, you can pop this and then also stack Psychic Chorus on top of this and get double the healing, or Fire Rodan as well, and get Fire Rodan and this popped off at the same time. Throw Psychic Chorus on there, you get a lot of healing. You can keep some high health units alive for a very, very long time with this character. Very solid ability. A lot of bots use it. A lot of a lot of players use this ability. It's just solid all around. I really like it a lot. I'm putting it, I personally think it's better than Gigan's ability, but these days, who's to say? I'm not really a Mothra user, but you know, now I'm second guessing myself. I'll put it right under Gigan. Gigan is a tried and true tactic that's lasted the test of time. The Mothra one is still very useful though, don't get me wrong. Solid. Next. Space Godzilla, oh boy. Space Godzilla, as a leader, does this crystal move where he spawns a bunch of crystals. Proton Field, 2 energy, 120-second cooldown. Produces 6 crystals across the battlefield and increases damage dealt by allied units near the crystals by 20%. These crystals do, I believe, a less percent. Yeah, look, you can see right there, 125% attack boost on the crystals he spawns as a unit. And then as a leader, it's 20%. The crystals on the field are giving him a 25% attack boost. So Space Godzilla on the field immediately is way better as a leader. There's no reason to make Space Godzilla your leader, except for getting the trophies and stuff like that. It's not a good ability. It really isn't. There's no practical application for this, and because you can't control where the crystals spawn, there's no strategy involved with this either. If you could choose where to spawn the crystals, like if I could make them into like a cone shape on the field to make like a wall or something to prevent the enemy from coming through, this would be really good for buying your units time or your energy base to cook up some stuff, or even protect your leader. But the fact is that it is just random and it's not really helpful, and it does less percentage attack boost than him on the field. And he's on the field, he's a pretty good unit. So I'm putting him also in the why would you do this to yourself category. Actually, I think he's better than Battra, but he's not amazing. Not great. Don't recommend. 0 out of 10. Alright, next we're moving to Kiryu. Kiryu is probably the best leader for the new players because his ability is wild. So Absolute Zero Cannon. 8 cost. This is the most expensive leader ability that we have by far. Cooldown 180 seconds. This is, 3 minutes of the match. And it takes a lot to get that 8 energy up. You're probably only going to use this maybe once a match. Depletes 90% of the current HP of enemy units in a straight line within a certain range. So basically, this video that they show is really terrible because it shows a Kong and a GD9 coming through. He does get 90% of their health done, but why would you ever do this? What you want to do with Kiryu is you just wait for the first overtime where the enemies start walking towards you, and then you pop this, and you're going to hit the leader for 90% of their health, and then you just drop trains or missiles or something on them, and you win the match, or Mogera or something, you win the match. Aside from this absolutely nuts ability, Kiryu has really good range as a leader, as you can see in this video. He has really good range, and that explosion actually does AoE if units are close enough, so that's pretty viable. And that is a solid ability, solid range. I'm a really big fan of Kiryu leader. I'm putting him in the great tier. I think at the moment, I want to say he's better than Biollante as a leader. What's his attack speed? as a leader. 2.7. Biollante's 2.8. I think maybe he's a little less than Biollante. Kiryu is pretty good leader. You're not really using him in the high levels unless you are, have him at an insane level. But I like him a lot. Very solid. Now, these are the new leaders. We'll start with Ultima. My boy. Look how they massacre my boy. So, Godzilla Ultima's ability, he has this really crazy range, and then you can't see on my screen, but he is lowering the cost of effects units. So, Heat Ray, 3 energy, 90-second cooldown, deals 350 damage in a fan shape, and reduces the cost of event battle pieces by 1 for 15 seconds. This is probably the most controversial of the abilities. There's been a lot of hot debate about this in the community. I actually like it. I actually like this ability a lot. You can make a deck. You don't need to stack your deck with spells or effects. It says event pieces here, but it means effects. So like Psychic Chorus, Mogera, Dimension Tide, Train Bombs, Missiles, Sonde. I don't know if I'm missing any. I think that's all of them. All decreases by 1. So for 15 seconds, it's not too bad. You kind of have to make sure it's stacked in your hand already before you use this. You can't pop this and then rely on it. It's going to appear in your hand, right? His range is really good, though. His range alone, I think, puts him at the top of okay tier. I think he's maybe at the bottom of great. His range is going to help you immensely. He's definitely not the worst leader in this game, solely based on his range. I mean, look at this special move. He can, first of all, this ability is cross-mapping people, right? If you wanted to use it purely offensively. But even defensively, he's hitting units before they even reach him. He has an attack speed of 2.9 seconds, which is really slow. But the fact that, like I said, he's hitting units from extremely far away is amazing. He can hit other Ultimas, I believe. I'm not sure if he can hit other Manillas and Super X's. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But his ability certainly can. And it's the only ability that's not Kiryu's that is going to be able to hit those units. And the fact that it is, it's kind of powerful, it's kind of cheap. Even if you don't want to use the effects, you can still use it to take down a Super X from a little bit away. So, something to consider for sure. The fact that he's one of the only leaders that can even do that, wild. His ability really drags him down, though. It doesn't have a lot of practical applications. You can build a good deck around it. I have a video on this channel featuring an Ultima deck that you can use. But not amazing, not meta. It's pretty good, though. He's just going to go to the top of okay tier. I think an argument can be made for the bottom of great. Next is Fire Rodan. Right, I put him up there. Yeah, Fire Rodan. Leader ability. Uranium Heat Ray. 2 costs, 90-second cooldown. Deals 350 damage in a fan shape and increases damage dealt by allied aerial units on the battlefield by 20% for 15 seconds. We don't need to increase aerial unit attack speed when we have other units that will increase the attack of all of the units. We don't need 20% attack boost for aerial units when Biollante is giving a 20% boost to all long-range units. We don't need this when Godzilla 89 is giving a 50% boost to all 5 cost or more units. We don't need this when Kong is doing this for 4 cost units and more, regardless if they're air or land or whatever, sea or sky, whatever. Not a great ability. Really not. There is plenty of other characters, as we've gone over today, that do this but way better and for way longer than 15 seconds. So Fire Rodan is, I think, at the bottom of the okay tier. I actually think that I'm switching MechaGodzilla around. I don't know why he went before Kong. I think this is probably appropriate. I might even put Kong in front of, now that I've rearranged this whole okay tier, I think this is probably more accurate. Next, this is the man of the hour, the seasonal god, if you will, Mecha King Ghidorah, as a leader. Mecha King Ghidorah deals 350 damage in a fan shape and stuns for 2 seconds, and increases cost recovery speed by 20% for 15 seconds. So when you use his ability, you will recover your energy 20% faster for 15 seconds. Now, it has come to my attention that this seems like this is a net negative. It costs 3 to use this, but this ability, when used by itself, only grants you 2 energy back very fast before this goes away. Not amazing, but it stacks with energy base. So if you place your energy base in the field, that's already increasing your energy gain. And then this, on top of that, will boost the effects of the energy base. Huge, huge ability. That is amazing by itself, and it's going to help you get so many pushes out extremely well. The fact that you could also stun a character, I'll put the move back up on the screen. The fact that you can stun a character for 2 seconds is wild. This also works with the freezing Sonde. You could permanently stun a character if you play this right. And since this affects anyone in that fan, and the Sonde affects anyone in its circle, you could lock down permanently a big push. That's kind of crazy, right? This ability is nuts. Not to mention, just on the normal attacks, you got the 3 heads, you got the AoE. Very good. This is a very, very good leader. I don't think this ability is as good as the as 98, or not 98. I would love 98 was in this game. Oh my god, I'm not going to talk about that. 89's ability, right, for the damage, but this is very good on defense. This is a very, very good defensive ability. I don't know if it's meta, but it's definitely one of the better abilities. I think I would put him in great tier at the very top. He's like just not meta for the damage boost. He's very, very, very good though. Very, very good leader. I almost want to make him meta behind 89. I think I might. He's a very good leader, but he's also very, very good on the field. So you're going to have to take that into account. I think I'll put him in the top of the great tier because honestly, I would rather use Mecha King Ghidorah on the field. He's a very powerful character. His ability, you play your cards right, energy base, throw this down, you're going to get an insane push ready. So big fan of him. I think an argument can be made for meta, and maybe my opinions on this will change, you know, maybe later in the season or next month. But for now, I think that's where it stands. And that's where my final opinions are going to be for all of these characters. So if you made it to the end of this long-ass video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support, and if you're a new player, I hope I helped you. I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.